Hi everyone, Sam here, your mother of Valkyries and host of the Sword and the Ribbon podcast. Welcome back to Season 2, Warriors. There is so much I want to talk about this season. I've already planned out months of episodes. Are we surprised at all? No. I have some amazing special guests lined up for this season, and I can't wait to talk to them and for you to hear their stories. But before we get to all that, I want to kick off Season 2 with a swift, hard roundhouse kick. That's right, I'm jumping in as if I never left. The beginning of the year is fucking hard. You feel like you have to start the year off perfectly, and when you don't, you're Ross from Friends saying, "The year was supposed to be great!" But what Ross doesn't recognize is he made progress towards his goal, even when he had one bad day and wasn't perfect. So strap in tight to those dragons, because this episode is about progress over perfection. Let's face it, the end of one year and the beginning of a new year fucking sucks. We are forced to reflect on the things we did and didn't do, and the goals we had but didn't check off. So we set them again for the new year, and thus a vicious cycle begins, especially when it revolves around fitness. Those last few days of December and the first few days of January are the prime time for our enemy, toxic fitness culture, to breed lies. It's like they have a breeding kink or something. Lies about failure and uncompleted goals, lies about where you should be compared to others, lies about who you should be versus who you are. Toxic fitness culture has created an environment that makes people feel like they have to give up and start over constantly. And every time a new year starts, it plays right into that mindset. It's this idea that if you don't do it perfectly or achieve your goal exactly, you have to do it all over again. That idea is actually from companies trying to get people to spend more money. They want you to think you failed, because then you might buy more clothes or weights or gear to try again. But fitness should never be about that. We aren't meant to fear losing momentum, even when toxic fitness culture tells us we can't have a rest day or else we've failed. And the worst lie of all is if you stop for even 1 second, you'll fall off the wagon and never achieve your goals. The truth of reality is that stopping doesn't mean you failed or lost progress either. If you give yourself a break, things will still happen. You aren't losing anything. When we hear the same toxic fitness lies over and over, it's easy to forget that they are lies. This idea that fitness has to be perfect or else you won't see progress, or you can't do it, or you aren't really working out is such bullshit. The reality is fitness isn't perfect, and the thing is, it was never meant to be perfect. Perfectionism is something many people struggle with, myself included. It can impact our lives in so many ways, including fitness. When I was in yoga teacher training, and yes, I am a certified yoga instructor, perfection was never the goal. I learned that yoga isn't about finding the perfect pose, but finding ways to help you be comfortable in the pose. We do this by using blocks or a strap or making modifications when needed, based on each individual. And those can change from day to day. It's about meeting you where you're at on your own mat, not trying to match someone perfectly on a different mat. I realized there were so many ways to approach fitness, it's not one size fits all. Because of my own levels of perfectionism, I hadn't really grasped this concept before this moment. When I was younger and in college studying athletic training, I understood you have to make accommodations in training for injured athletes. But it wasn't until I was older and wiser that it really sunk in about making accommodations for every single person. I fell into believing the lie that my pose had to be perfect. But in that yoga studio, it clicked for me that there are different ways to get to your goals or pose without hurting yourself, or that look different from the fitness industry standard. And once I realized that, my entire way of teaching and training shifted. It's one of the reasons I make sure to give as many modifications as I can in my classes. It's also part of how I built the Micro Squad, meeting you where you are at, literally in your own home. Fitness isn't one size fits all, and not all sizes can do fitness the same way. The thing is, perfectionism isn't a one size fits all struggle either. There are so many different types of it and how it might impact your daily life. One example is when you see something you think is perfect and then feel like you don't measure up. You might see someone on social media who is able to work out every day or spend all day in the gym. But that might not be realistic for you. Maybe you have an injury that keeps you from working out that much, or maybe you have a business to run, or maybe you have kids to keep track of. No two people's lives are the same anywhere on the planet. So why would you try to compare your life to someone else's? You should want to be you. You shouldn't aspire to be some version of perfect that someone else may or may not achieve. You should aspire to be you. There is this quote from the TV show Ted Lasso, which you all know I absolutely love. It's a conversation between Ted Lasso and Jamie Tart that goes like this, and I'll spare you all the accents. Ted asked Jamie, "Which would you rather be, a lion or a panda?" Jamie says, "Coach, I'm me. Why would I want to be anything else?" And Ted responds, "I'm not sure you know how psychologically healthy that actually is." I love this quote because it's a great perspective to have of yourself at any point in your life. Why try to measure yourself against social media standards or a stranger or even your best friend? They're not you and you're not them. You will never be the same, so why bother wasting time stressing about your differences? I know it can be hard to separate fiction from reality. It's really fucking hard. Trust me. Some days I really do expect Cassian to walk through my door holding mitts and say, "Ready for me to put you on your ass today?" And while I would absolutely faint to have that be my reality, sadly, it never will be. And that's okay because I get to be the person holding the mitts for all of you. Every day when you step up to that mat, turn on a training video, and hear my voice, I get to be there for you in your reality, meeting you just where you are. And by the way, if you missed the cereal's tea spill this month, the Micro Squad just launched a new program called Electro Kickboxing, and I'll be there holding mitts for you too. When I'm holding the mitts, I want you to punch perfectionism right in the face. Imagine you're walking through a maze of mirrors. You look into them and quickly realize there's something wrong with the mirrors. When you look into them, you don't see yourself as you actually are. You are a distorted illusion of your reflection. You keep walking, and the more mirrors you look in, the more unrealistic your reflection becomes. It's as if every lie of perfectionism you have thought about yourself is looking back at you. You get so frustrated with the distorted reality and perfect lies staring back at you that you punch the mirror, smashing and splintering the glass to get out of the maze. You stand there and look in the mirror again. It's not a perfect reflection. You see all the imperfections you think about yourself, but you decide to not listen to those negative thoughts. You continue to smash the idea of perfection in every mirror and walk through the maze to embrace your unique main character story. You can wake up and choose to punch and smash through perfectionism each day. It's in the small choices we make that keep us grounded in knowing who we are. Maybe it's choosing to not compare your outfit to that fitness influencer, or knowing that taking a modification in a workout doesn't mean you're weak. It's actually honoring your body where it's at in that moment. Maybe it's even a reminder that taking a break today to rest from the craziness of life is perfectly okay. Taking breaks in fitness is okay, good, and a lot of the time, they're needed in your life. And just to prove my point, here's a break in this podcast. This episode is sponsored by Workshop. Why work out when you can work out? Training in your Illyrian leathers sounds gross, hot, and terrible, so why not do it in a lightweight, breathable, and fucking cool outfit? Enter Workshop, and that's Workshop with an E. Workshop is about embracing your individuality and feeling great while working out. Whether you are training to climb the mountain, taking a Taylor Swift yoga class, or running out to grab matcha, they've got you covered. If you're a romanticy lover like me, my favorite outfits are those that step off the page and into reality. From unicorns and elves to gargoyles and phoenixes, and even from dragons to pirates, Workshop has an outfit for every fantasy trope. All their products are made in-house in their small studio outside of Los Angeles, California. In an effort to fight fast fashion, they keep inventory tight and make everything in small batches. The owner, Tina, designs everything by hand, making sure the designs are one of a kind, just like you. My favorite sets, in no particular order, obviously the Valkyrie and Athena sets, Featherlight Bells and Tank and Pit Viper to channel your inner Viper Queen, athleisure leggings and Tank in moon phases in case you're flying to the night court, and of course, the brand new Dragon Rider set for all those who are trying to train their dragon. You can head to workshop.com, and that's WERK shop.com, and use my code BODYSEMANTICS for 10% off. Okay, I'm back from that break. Did that break make this episode a failure? No. Does that break make this episode not as good as the others? No. Did that break make me any less of your badass mother of Valkyries? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Breaks are good. They shouldn't be viewed as a failure of meaning that you're weak. Sometimes we are doing too much, like overtraining. So easing up on workouts is actually really beneficial to your muscles. It can also improve recovery, muscle fatigue, and reduce injury. Sometimes we have a lot of life and work stresses that can factor into our motivations. Resting is 100% acceptable and okay. Our minds and bodies need that reset period. So if you don't feel like working out, that's perfectly acceptable. If you feel like you need to move, practicing mind stilling, going for gentle walks, or even just gentle stretches are beneficial. Just recently, Valkyrie and dietitian Morgan from episodes 6 and 7 officially finished the Valkyrie Squad program. She was one of the OG Valkyries that signed up the day the program launched. This is what she had to say about that time it took her to finish the program. When I first started, I remember thinking, what will I do in 3 months when Valkyrie Squad is all over? Ha ha ha. 18 months ago, me was so naive. Everything in the Micro Squad has changed everything about me and my attitude towards fitness. I'm so proud of myself and how far I've come, and I can't wait to see what other changes will come in the next months, years. Morgan had every intention of never taking a break from the program, but she did take breaks, and she still completed the program. She changed her mindset and realized that taking breaks doesn't make you a failure, and taking breaks won't keep you from reaching your goals. So take the damn break. And when you're done with your break and ready to start working out again, there is no rule that you have to start back at the beginning. You can pick up exactly where you left off. You don't fail a program by taking a break. That feeling of having to restart over and over because you took a break is the liar, perfectionism, scrambling your feelings. It wants to keep you from breaks because it wants to keep you in its cycle of always striving to be perfect. When you're in that cycle, perfectionism gets to be in control, and you know it shouldn't be the one controlling your life. You are in control, so kick it out of the control center of your brain and take back control. If you wait for it to be the perfect time, you'll never start anything, especially anything fitness related. Valkyrie Val said something in our Discord community that I wanted to share. They said, if you keep restarting just because you aren't getting something perfect, it starts treating your workouts as punishments as opposed to celebrations of what your body can do. This is true. The idea of perfectionism perpetuates this unachievable standard set by the toxic fitness culture. Instead of celebrating that you completed a program without taking a single day off, choose to celebrate the progress you've made and will continue to make every day. Track your progress by how strong you've gotten, redo certain workouts to see how they feel different, or lift heavier weights. If you're part of the Micro Squad, take a high spice rated class you are afraid of, or see if you feel more energized or feel stronger daily, not just in a workout. There are unlimited ways you could track your progress. This kind of tracking is the complete opposite of toxic fitness culture. It takes the perfectionism piece out of it. The doing everything perfectly to hit a number, size, or pushing through the pain isn't the focus. The focus is acknowledging where you are at and how far you've come, which is the accomplishment that really deserves celebrating. It won't always be easy, nothing ever is. And on the days where you are really struggling, there are tools to help you smash your perfectionism mirrors. The Valkyrie favorite is to practice mind stilling. There's one in the Valkyrie Squad program called Ripple of Thought Metamorphosis. Not even gonna lie, my sister Rebecca blew me away when she wrote this one, and it's ideal for us struggling with progress over perfection. A small bit of that mind stilling goes like this.
These dewdrops of water are intrusive thoughts, warping your image. In time, the water will settle, and you will see yourself clearly again. Allow the doubt, the negative thoughts to drop into the pool. Allow it to disrupt the stillness, knowing that in time, you will see yourself clearly again. Give yourself the time to feel and figure out what thoughts reflect you and which are just temporary ripples on the water.
Damn, Becca, that was good. Mind stilling to sit with and let go of any negative thoughts, including those about perfectionism. Check out the Pocket Mind Stilling episodes called The Sword in the Mind to practice on the go. And keep an eye out for our new Pocket Stilling this Thursday, February 8th. So, how does all this choosing progress over perfection actually work in real life? Well, let's use the Valkyrie Squad program as an example. Stopping and starting the program is common. Life happens. Even if you think you shouldn't pause the program, you should. Remind yourself that you don't have to perfectly go through the days to complete the program. You can do day 15 on Monday and then day 16 on Thursday. You will still complete the program even with those breaks. What should you do when you take a break? You can pick up right where you left off, and there's no need to restart the program every time you take a break. You know, when you step away from a book for a week or two, you're able to pick it right back up again? Yeah, your body remembers what was happening. But remember when you had to wait 8 months or 2 years for the third book and you forgot all the characters and the plot? You may want to reread the last book and start from the beginning, which is totally okay and normal to restart a book or a program if you needed an extended break. Tell the perfectionist in you, you need to calm down. You're being too loud. Singing, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Just because you didn't do the workout perfectly the first time around does not mean you failed. It does not mean you aren't good enough for the workout or the program. Valkyrie Squad is focused on strength and stepping outside the box of toxic fitness culture. We want to support everyone on their journey, no matter what speed you are going at. The Micro Squad and Valkyrie Squad were created to meet you where you are at. They're safe, accessible spaces for all, regardless of where you are at. Modifications during workouts are not bad. Taking breaks are not bad. There are so many factors as to why you need breaks and mods. You need a few examples? Sure, I got you. A few of those factors are not enough sleep, being on your period, children, work, stress, and not enough to eat. Also, 10 to 15-minute workouts are okay. They can be great to help workouts feel attainable and are a great starting point. I get asked a lot about how to ease back into working out after taking a break. The question of, do I restart or where do I begin again? Those 10 to 15-minute workouts are the perfect place to start. Workouts don't have to be super long to be impactful. A bunch of squad mates just realized this when we all did the Spicy Quick Quest in December 2023. Even just going on a walk can be enough to start moving your body. It can be as simple as that. Maybe start by cleaning your house. You are still moving your body, and those simple actions are enough. Finding what works best for you is what is most important. Maybe you need shorter workouts. Maybe you need to take a week break. Decide how to celebrate your progress and how far you've come instead of being discouraged by not being perfect. As we know, Ted Lasso is my man, so I took two of his quotes and made them my own as a reminder of what I want the Valkyrie Squad and the Micro Squad as a whole to be. The first quote is, "The Micro Squad is not about the weight loss. It's about helping humans be the best, strongest versions of themselves and comfortable in their own skin. And it ain't always easy, but neither is taking that step without a friend." And the second is, "I think things come into our lives to help us get from one place to a better one. That's why we create themed workouts here at the Micro Squad. They help us go from toxic fitness habits to fun, healthy ones." And it's the fun, geeky themed habits that can help us battle that perfectionism. It's laughing in the face of those lies and celebrating the progress we've made little by little each day. This week's piece of Cauldron Blessed wisdom is to acknowledge what chapter you're in of your story. See how strong and fucking magical you are for the progress you've made. You are the main character of your own story. You get to decide if you're going to believe the lies of perfectionism or choose to celebrate progress daily. Your action item for this week is to grab a plate and a permanent marker or paint pen and play the first mind stilling audio. Let this plate become your Ouroboros and begin to write down all the things that you think or feel are imperfect about yourself or your life. things that have caused you to freeze in fear, perfectionism that has held you hostage, or goals and dreams you think you gave up on. When your mind is stilled, hold the plate, read what you wrote, and let the things you think aren't perfect about yourself in your life wash over you and crash against that rock in the waves. Know the rock is who you were always meant to be. You are strong, enduring, and nothing can break you. No matter what your rock looks like, it is perfect for you. What you do with that plate now is up to you. One option is to go outside or to a safe smash zone and safely smash those perfectionism lies to smithereens. Another option is to simply throw the plate away. No matter which option you choose, while smashing or throwing your plate away, say, I won't allow perfectionism in these areas to hold me back anymore. Since this is season 2 and we are roundhouse kicking this season into action, I have a second mini action item for you this week. Go on a nature walk or hike and collect a rock that you think is beautifully imperfect and perfect for you. Put your rock next to your white ribbon and let it be a reminder that you are the rock in the waves and nothing can break you. This season is going to be the next step in awakening your inner warrior, so pick up your sword and shield and get ready for what's to come because I am excited as fuck. And in the meantime, be strong, kick ass, and be fucking magical every day. This episode was produced by Bex Castro, Mia Garlock, and Carolyn McMorrin. Special thank you to Taylor Ash for creating the music of this podcast. And thanks for listening to The Sword and the Ribbon by the Micro Squad. If you're interested in learning more about the Valkyrie Squad, visit us at thevalkyriesquad.com. If you're interested in learning more about the Micro Squad or Geek Gym for a class, visit us at themicrosquad.com. Make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcasts from so you don't miss out. And if you like this week's episode, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.